Hello and thanks for staying with us. The Nigerian Customs Service speaks with other customs commissions all over the world. Also on Customs Report, Customs begin e-auction sales of goods at the ports and border posts all over the country. Plus, more report. I am Egiseme Etienne. Stay tuned. The Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service has presented 2024 budget to the Nigerian Senate Committee on Customs at the National Assembly in Abuja. The Controller General said that his men will make sure that they meet the target set up by the government. He speaks more on the budget.
Said was that we have seen over the years that despite the fact that our borders were officially closed, at least in 2019, for almost 20 months, our borders were officially closed. And even when it was reopened, we still restricted the importation of certain goods from the ports, from the borders. But despite that, we know that several vehicles have been imported, smuggled through these places. We see them in car marts, people drive them, and customs maintain checkpoints, and we stop them. And we always get, all these explanations that, oh, I didn't know it was smuggled and things like that. So what we are trying to do with this initiative is to grant some waivers to owners of such vehicles so that within that window that you talked about, once we get the approval, we could say for the next 3 months, if you are in possession of vehicles that are illegally imported to the country or that have not paid duties, you have this opportunity to go to a customs house and go for assessment and payment of duty. Of course, as you suggested, there will be massive publicity that would accompany such a policy so that those who find themselves in that situation can get their vehicles, can regularize the importation through payment of duties. The next issue, which was raised by you and my brother from Kogi, also has to do with the exchange rate. I am equally pained by the volatility in the exchange rate regime. In fact, even if it stays high and people can predict, that this is what it will take me to clear, perhaps it's not particularly too bad. But when, it's so volatile, today it is X, tomorrow it is X plus 10 or X plus 20, it does not make for adequate planning and things like that. So, correctly, it is the mandate of the Central Bank of Nigeria to fix the rate, either the one that we use under 8th Feb or the one that we use for importation or the one for payment of customs duty. So I have been in discussions with my minister. Perhaps what we are going to advocate is that there would be a kind of a meeting point between authorities of government that are in charge of monetary policies and those that are in charge of fiscal policies. Personally, what I think we can do is to get a kind of a spot rate for a period of time. We can agree that maybe for Q1 2024, this should be the spot rate for the purpose of payment of customs duty. Or we could say for the first half, we define the period, and then we all agree that this should be the spot rate for payment of customs duty. But I must say, this is what I feel. Consultations are still in progress, but let me make it very, very clear, abundantly clear, that it is not customs that sets these rates. These rates are determined by authorities that are in the monetary policy. The rates are set and they send it to us for implementation. But because we are also Nigerians, and we know that it is not just that people will find it difficult to pay, it will also affect the quantity, the quantum of cargo that is brought into the country. We showed you in 2023 that the cargo throughputs reduced by as much as 30%. And some of the reasons for this was because of the exchange rate variance in the second half of 2023. Now, we also have the question regarding how we are going to be rewarding our officers. I can assure you that we have actually started in the last quarter of the year. we actually identified some of our officers who did well, and special promotions were given to such officers. Reward may not necessarily be monetary. There could be a number of other ways in which we could reward our officers. I'm happy about the issue of local contents, which the distinguished senator raised. And I've always been very, very passionate about protecting what is ours in Nigeria. I believe that we have the capacity to grow the kind of rice that we need to feed Nigerians. Beyond rice, I believe that we must take very, very seriously the issue of food security. So our trade policy, our tariff policy, our fiscal policy must be such that they would be protective of this critical sector in Nigeria.
The Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service was welcomed to Customs College by the Commandant of the College in Ikeja. A Deputy Controller of Customs also said that Nigerian Customs Service will continue to receive any important guests that come to the college for any important occasion. He was welcomed by quarter guard mounted by men of the service at the training school in Ikeja. Stakeholders in the maritime industry have been speaking on the just concluded World Customs Day in Lagos. This year, World Customs Day was held in Lagos and was attended by the Minister of Blue Economy and other top government officials in the country. The Customs boss has this to say at the opening of the conference in Lagos.
This specific transportation sector. To further strengthen these efforts in Nigeria, a memorandum of cooperation will be proposed in the coming weeks among key government agencies operating within the aviation sector. This collective undertaking represents concrete steps towards optimizing our enforcement capacities and fostering effective collaboration with stakeholders, including the specific objectives as outlined in the Colibri project. This year, we commit to fostering a substantially improved relationship with all of you as stakeholders, especially those who respect our rules. We recognize that authentic partnerships are constructed on mutual respect and understanding. Those who remain compliant and abide by the rules can anticipate a more streamlined and supportive collaboration. However, it is crucial to emphasize that this commitment does not extend to non-compliant entities. We assert unequivocally that adherence to regulations is non-negotiable. Nonetheless, we remain open to engaging with non-compliant entities that demonstrate a willingness to reform and align with ethical standards. Permit me to use this medium to announce a significant initiative that underscores our commitment to efficiency and transparency in trade facilitation. In February, that's next year, early next year, we will be launching a time release study, TRS. This is a comprehensive exercise aimed at optimizing our processes and reducing the time it takes for goods to be released in our ports and border stations. This study is a scientific and strategic move towards enhancing our operations, and I call upon the cooperation of all our partners, particularly those of you already organized under the framework of the National Trade Facilitation Committee, to actively participate in this endeavor. We must collectively develop ownership over this study so that the results will be credible and acceptable to all of us. Your insights and collaboration will be invaluable as we look forward to achieving seamless and timely trade processes that will benefit all of us. I would also like to take this moment to acknowledge and commend the dedication of all our partners and stakeholders who work with us in the discharge of our mandate. As it is the tradition of the International Customs Day, some of these stakeholders are up for special recognition through awards made by the World Customs Organization headquarters. I want to congratulate these stakeholders and encourage them to even do more. I equally congratulate our internal stakeholders, officers and men who have, through their works and commitment, exemplified the spirit of collaboration in what they do. They are our champions of collaboration, and I celebrate them. I will conclude by extending this invitation on behalf of the global customs community to our esteemed partners and intending ones to commence this journey with purpose as we actively involve both traditional and new partners to shape a future characterized by effective collaboration, shared understanding, and success. I thank you all for the attention, and let us proceed with a renewed commitment to advancing the collective objective of trade facilitation, national security, and economic development of our great nation. I thank you for your attention.
While the minister in charge of marine and blue economy also commended the management of Nigerian Customs Service for a job well done.
I'm honored and delighted to deliver a keynote address at this gathering of esteemed stakeholders as we commemorate the 2024 International Customs Day under the theme Customs Engaging Traditional and New Partners with Purpose. The Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy was established by the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GSFR, with the goal of enhancing Nigeria's economy by tapping into the vast potential of the maritime domain, valued at over $24 trillion, supporting 90% of global trade and generating millions of jobs. As has been expressed by the WACO Secretary General in his message to the global customs community and their stakeholders, collaboration is germane in achieving trade facilitation and the security of the internal supply chain. To this end, we must integrate sustainability into policies and strategies, bolster investment in ports, research, and technology, and most importantly, foster inclusive alliance among our stakeholders and partners, including the Nigerian Ports Authority, transporters, freight forwarders, shippers, the MASA, and the Nigerian Customs Service. The recent passage of the Nigerian Customs Act 2023 creates a favorable environment for trade. It recognizes opportunities, addresses challenges, and encourages partnership between the public and private sectors. In this era of increased interdependence, customs and stakeholders must work in hand to ensure the overall success of initiatives that will help unlock the immense potential of collaboration and increased revenue generations. At this juncture, let me commend the leadership of customs for agreeing to abandon the physical examination of cargoes at our ports and prioritizing the use of scanners. A round of applause for the customs for that. This development will not only increase revenue, it will ensure port efficiency and competitiveness, and to reduce drastically the cargo turnaround time. It is by committing to cooperation that we can enhance our effectiveness in safeguarding our waterways and facilitating global trade. With unwavering commitment, I assure you of my ministry's support for collaborative engagement with stakeholders in the international trade community, aiming for a more sustainable use of ocean and coastal resources for economic growth. I therefore urge each one of you to carry forward the spirit of today's event. Let us only remember the achievement, but also look ahead with enthusiasm for collaborations and partnership that awaits us. Together, we can continue to forge meaningful connections, foster innovations, and truly engage with purpose. Thank you for your attention, and I wish you a successful International Customs Day celebration. God bless you.
You are watching the program, Customs Report. Some stakeholders who attended the conference has this to say.
If you look at the theme of this year, which means engaging traditional partners and new partners, I believe in the wisdom of the CG is decided to come to where you have the core of the partners of customs. Lagos is where you have the biggest port, and I think that is probably what informed his decision to have brought this to the partners so that he can engage directly with them. I mean, you can see that truly partners were here. The traditional ones and the new ones were here. In fact, if you look behind you, where you have the clinic, they've been able to get a new partner who is doing free tests, giving eyeglasses to people, ensuring that people's lives are properly taken care of. So these are the kind of partners that the new administration of customs is actually connecting with.
The Nigerian Customs Service e-custom auction of vehicles has started all over the country. The e-auction will enable Nigerians to acquire vehicles and other seized goods as approved by government. The Customs Area Controller in charge of PTLM has this to say.
Well, so far PTML as it is, we are very prepared. Everything has been put in place to any beneficiary that will eventually win the auction. We have, first of all, we have very capable officers that have been briefed on how to handle these procedures. Once there is a winner on this auction procedure, the officers are ready, and it's a seamless situation where you present the document you bidded, and after paying the required amount, the officer goes through to confirm that you are the beneficiary, you are the winner of that bid. Then you go to the terminal operator, you pick up your vehicle.
So how has the terminal operator and the man contributed to seeing that the vehicles were not vandalized under customs control?
Well, like we've been saying all through the time, PTML is one of the safest places. Cargoes can be kept. From my experiences here, it's not just a terminal, like I always say, it's a model port, and the security is very tight. For you to access the port you must be verified. It's not just a port where you just walk in and walk out. I think Grimaldi, as far as I'm concerned, are very serious in terms of the security situation here. It's very tight. You need to present why you are here. You need to have business with them before they allow you access. So most of the cargoes within the port are highly and heavily guarded. I think from my inspection of the port facility, it's one of the best we can get in the country. So cargoes within the premises are very secured. We've not had cases of any vandalism as far as I'm concerned. No, none has been reported. So I believe all the cars in their custody, whoever wins a bid is going to get this vehicle exactly as it came into the country. So I don't think we have any bad situation or any bad report in terms of vandalism. Well, we have about 1,472 vehicles. Then we have about 1,427 vehicles. Then we have 72 containers. Right now, the vehicles are what are being worked on the auction site, which all of us know on Tuesday from 12 to 6 in the evening. So whoever is interested, you go on the website, you bid. When you win, it's a straightforward thing, very transparent. You don't need anybody. You don't need to know anybody. So far, people coming forward that have won, I have never seen them before now, except they come with their allocation letter, they pick up their vehicles. Nobody knows. You don't need to know anybody to go on that website. You bid just like any other Nigerian is free to bid. But the bidding has to come. You must have your TIN number. You must have that's the procedure put in place in order to have a very seamless procedure. You have to be recognized through your TIN number. You must have a registered company with the TIN number.
The Customs Area Controller in charge of Morita Mohammed Command has said that Nigerian Customs Service will continue to work according to the leader rules as approved by government. He appealed to travelers to always come forward and clear their consignment with proper documentation. He says that any documentation brought in, take two. He said that any traveler let me start all over again.
Those things, when those goods comes in, because of the synergy we had with NDLA, we had agreed to put those goods on hold for like 5 days. The airport is an environment where goods are usually cleared very fast because of the, it's not like the conventional port where it takes a lot of days. So usually when you have such goods, after 5 days or when it's not cleared, we know that it's tramadol, we usually call for evacuation. Because over the time, when we keep it, there's always pilfering. So when they pilfer, at the end of the day, you find out that they are usually being replaced with other items. So basically, getting suspects is going to be difficult. But for us, we are doing everything possible to make sure that they don't even come in. By the time we continue to arrest, I'm sure one day, to a large extent, I think it's reducing.
He said that any traveler who comes into the country without proper documentation, their consignment will be seized by government.
Command collected revenue to the tune of 90,426,185,447 naira and 1 kobo as custom duties and other charges. In comparison to revenue collected the same period in 2022, which stood at 69,768,509,597 naira and 79 kobo. This clearly shows a progressive difference of 20,657,675,849 naira and 22 kobo, depicting an increase of 29.61% increase.
The 6th truck containing motorbikes from China came through the unapproved routes into Nigeria. The controller said that smuggling is a serious crime, adding that the use of unapproved routes without payment of custom duty is against Customs Act.
This is the speedometer, Look at the engines here. See, where is the fender? Bring the fender. See fender here. With that front or back fender. So now it's just a neat way of taking it to a place, and they will couple everything, and it becomes brand new motorcycle that they should change the government of Nigeria from getting tax on. Now you have the effrontery to bring it in using other means. Then it is that same other means that we will use to apprehend them equally.
According to him, the impact of smuggling has a very serious effect on the nation's economy. He stated further that some quantities of suspected cannabis, including 6 trailers of rice, were also seized by his men.
The following major seizures were recorded within January 2024. 3,653 by 50 kg bags of foreign parboiled rice, equivalent to about 6.5 trailer load. 23,025 liters of premium motor spirits. 241 bales of used clothing.
So 10 suspects were arrested alongside with the smuggled goods. Just before the end of this week edition of the program Customs Report, we brought you a report where the Controller General of Customs continue to preach to members of the clearing industry in the country to continue to follow the rules as approved by government. For me, Igiseme, thanks for watching.